Stories from the kitchen. Kitchen roll from the gutters in broadcast form. Find me cooking finest fishes like I'm living out in Greece. Or catch me at the deli with my bacon, egg, and cheese. This is true culinary. This is what's behind the scenes. Cooking in the kitchen, that big money where we eat. Rags to dishes. Stories from the kitchen. Kitchen roll from the gutters in broadcast.
JR, and you listen to Rags to Dishes, bitches.
Who's hungry, baby? Welcome to episode 101 of the Rags to Dishes podcast. I'm here with Mr. Dan Cotter. What up, D-Cot?
What's going on, man? How are you?
Amazing. We got cameras on us.
Yeah.
This is a new thing that we're doing.
Yeah, how are you doing with it? You know, you
I'm
figure
nervous.
out.
I'm already tweaking. I'm tweaking.
Dude, you gotta chill out,
Tweaking
bro.
heavy. Anyway, we got Tashyna in here. What up, Tashyna?
Hey, how are you?
You know, fucking ecstatic right now.
Yeah,
Love
we're
that,
chilling.
love that.
Now,
We're back. It's been a long, like, how many seasons have passed since we've recorded?
I don't know, man.
It's been since, like, the summer.
Trump was going to jail when we started.
Yeah, now he's
And
going right to
here
the top.
we are.
Anyway, Tashyna, we'll be back to you, but I wanted to like let everyone know that, hey, we're here. We're doing
Yeah.
video now. We're trying some stuff out, and would also like to give a little applause to our filmer, Mr. Spencer.
Yeah,
Yo,
shouts
yo,
out to
yo.
Spencer making this all
So
happen.
you never know. He might crash a shot one day or something like that.
Crash and shot. That's an industry term that we just made up. Anyway, let's get into it.
So Tashyna, you be cooking, right?
Yeah, been cooking for a real long time.
Like since a kid? Like how'd you get into it? What got you into food?
Ironically, it was just breakfast food. So when people ask me like, "Oh, hey, what's your favorite thing to make?"
Like bacon, egg, and cheese.
pancakes.
Okay.
Ooh,
okay.
So do you whip up a batter from scratch really well?
100%.
Okay. What's your
100%.
technique?
I actually like cornmeal based pancake.
Okay.
So I love doing that with melted butter, so it comes together real homogeneous.
This is like a Johnny cake style,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Nice.
Nice and fluffy, and it got that little crunch to it, like especially when you get the butter on the edge.
Wow.
The ring,
okay.
the butter
Good.
ring.
Yeah, the butter ring.
What about you ever make or do you know how to make those like I've never had one, but like those like super puffy like Japanese I don't want to say Jap, that might sound racist, but like
The
Asian pancakes. Yeah. I think it's Japan. Fuck me,
No, I
right?
haven't made it, but I've definitely looked at it.
That's like some real like food porn like Instagram shit. It's
I'm
like,
like,
yo,
how many
those
egg
are
whites did
puffy.
you put in that, bro?
Yeah, it's like
That's nuts.
is it cooked in the middle?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Maybe it's a steamed method.
Instagram is the worst thing to happen to food since what? Like, I mean, Instagram, like food videos and
Yeah,
stuff where it's like people like that just like love the cutting the brisket with the black gloves on.
What's really fucked up now is AI be in the algorithms, and I think other people do too. I hope it's not just me, but these videos will come up where it's like, casserole, and like you think it's one of the videos where someone's making a casserole, but it's just some fucked up video of someone just putting fucked up shit in a pan.
Yes,
You're like,
I
what is
hate
going
that.
on? Like,
It's
what are
just
you
rage
doing?
bait.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, why am I even mad? I could just keep scrolling.
Literally.
It worked.
Yeah.
So you were a kid, you got real into pancakes, and you were like, you know what, I'm finna do this.
Yeah. And then I went to high school, and it was a vocational high school. So I decided to do that for 4 years. So it's like half academics, half a hands-on skill. I did cooking. My teachers were actually very supportive. They were like, wow, you are so great at this. I'm like, I just made a sandwich. Thank you, ma'am. But I appreciate it.
That's all it takes sometimes is a good sandwich.
Yeah,
I
just
mean,
a good sandwich.
That could change your whole day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It often changes my whole
Yeah.
day. A lot of times for the worse.
Depends what time of day.
Like,
That
bad roast.
3
Depends on what kind of
a.m.
sandwich.
That 3 a.m. sandwich from fucking Pizzeria Gusto might be something different.
That's a
That's
lifesaver
life-changing.
right there.
Yo, shout out Pizzeria Gusto. They're my
Yeah.
favorite. They're not open till 3 a.m., but they're open till 1 a.m.
Yeah, then you save it for 2 hours.
Yeah. So you got a little older, and then you went like the the route, right?
Yeah,
J-Woo?
Yeah, I did the good old, hey, let's go to one of the best culinary schools in the U.S.
J-Woo the Damager.
Exactly. So I started out there, did the 4 years. My concentration / major, whatever the hell they're calling it, was sustainability. So I really enjoyed seeing like the literal like farm to table before it became like a craze.
Nice.
So I really enjoyed doing that. And then my senior year, I did an internship and I landed an intern in New York City.
Oh shit.
So
Yeah.
like you,
The Big Apple.
I gotta ask because you were. I don't know if you said it on here, but you said you were from like around here. Were you like, I'm going to JWU, or were you like, maybe I'll go to CIA? Were you thinking anything else, or were you like, JWU is my route?
So I'm from New Bedford, very small ocean town, city, whatever.
Yeah.
In
Whaling
Massachusetts.
City.
Yeah. Actually, a lot of seafood comes from there locally, and I didn't realize that until way later on. So I was like, ooh, shout out to New Bedford. Hey.
Yeah.
Shout out.
And yeah, so I wanted to actually be a music teacher. So I went to UMass Dartmouth, did the whole shenanigans with going through that process, got accepted. And then I was like, I'm probably not going to have a job when I graduate.
Yeah, because music teacher is not the most sustainable job.
Exactly. And then I told myself, well, everybody eats, and I've been cooking for 4 years, so I'm just going to keep rolling with it. And it just worked out.
Hell yeah.
So you had been cooking, like as a job at that point?
I didn't start till senior year of high school because not all restaurants are really inclined to have like a 14-year-old in their kitchen.
True.
But
Usually it's someone busting suds anyway.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But like in the schooling aspect, I was doing that, half of the year. So when I finally became of age, of working legal age, I actually started in a little hot dog, like ice cream parlor kind of deal. And then I went to college, and it's history from there.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you went to the Big Apple, the greatest city to ever exist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where in where were you at in New York?
Well, I started off in...
Call out your block.
Yeah. I started off on 38th, which, if not a lot of people know, is close to Bryant Park, which is a couple blocks from Times Square. I started at the David Burke Fabric Restaurant, which is no longer open because they got bought out. Sad face.
I mean, it's New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
such a cute
not
area,
gonna
too.
last
Yeah.
unless your old 80-year-old grandpa has owned it since like 1930.
Yep. But it was a restaurant in the base floor of a boutique hotel. And that was my first like high volume, fast paced kitchen. And it was a lot. It was definitely a culture shock, but I
Were
learned.
you like, this is the pros?
Yeah. I was like, oh, they don't teach you this in culinary school.
Were you the hotel's restaurant, like the restaurant for the hotel?
Yeah. So not only did I have to take care of the dining room, which had, I don't know, maybe like 100 seats, give or take, plus the food for the hotel and the rooftop bar.
Oh,
So
fun.
yeah, so there was one night in particular that I remembered that I just got slammed.
Tell us about it.
So it was when we got a new sous chef, and he comes in, big dick energy.
Of course.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to change this. I'm going to change that. And I was like, okay, bro, you do that. And then the line, there was maybe 6 stations. There were 3 of us. And no one told us that Adele was coming to Madison Square.
Okay.
So all
You guys
those
are rolling in the
people-
deep.
Oh my God. Yes.
For real.
Literally. So, I was hopping between pizza, grill, saute, fry, and it got to the point where the sous chef, the new sous chef, who is just great. He's just so amazing.
Sure, he handled it well.
Did he cave?
He caved. I actually pushed him off the line, and I was like, you can go take care of salads. Goodbye.
Nice.
Yeah.
Got him.
Nice.
And I remember there was one point that I looked up from like where all the pans were hanging, and all I had up was a whisk.
Everything was
Wild.
in use.
All the pans were gone except one singular whisk.
Damn.
That's how you know.
Those nights are crazy.
It's like a
Yeah.
battle sign. Now, David Burke, I don't know that much
You
about
keep
him.
tripping out of over that name.
I know it's a name. Like he's famous for like dry age rub steak stuff, right?
Yeah, so he has a couple of restaurants around. I know for one in particular that's actually close to us. It's in Connecticut at one of the casinos. And they're actually, I think, don't quote me because I might be wrong, but most of their steaks, meats come out of that that facility. So they actually got shipped.
They like butcher meats there themselves, you're saying?
Yeah. And then dry age them. And from what I remember, that they were on salt blocks, like Himalayan salt blocks.
Fun.
Yeah, I was like, oh, bougie. But when that steak was on our menu, we had a New York strip. That bad boy was $80.
$80 for a New York strip.
Well, when was
a lot.
this?
This was 2016.
Yeah, so that's before the groceries went up too.
That's still a lot. That's a lot for a strip.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet David Burke? Or was
Um,
it kind of just like it's his restaurant and you work in it type of thing?
Yeah, because like he's under, I guess, like a corporate umbrella because he has several restaurants.
Yeah.
Yeah,
across
he's like
different
a
states.
celeb chef in a sense.
Exactly. But I think his son was like our manager. He was kind of a dick. I'm not gonna lie.
I believe it.
Yeah. I never really met him, but I had stories from different chefs that I worked with. This one in particular, she told me that he yelled at her about something, and then he had a macaroni on the menu, a macaroni and cheese, and people were like, "Oh, like what should we put it in, a bowl or this or that?" And verbatim from the chef that told me this, he was like, "Just put it in a can. Everything's gonna go in a can." So not only did the mac and cheese go in a can, these French fries went in a can, and something else went in a can. And I was like, oh, okay, so this man likes cans. All right, here we go.
Like an old tin can?
Yes, like an old tin can.
That looks like that. Okay, that's either really lazy or a cute plating idea. I can't tell
I was gonna hate, and then I was like, yeah, that's kind of fire.
It's
though.
probably straddling the line just perfectly between lazy and cute.
I agree.
I feel like I occupy that space a lot of the times, right there in between lazy and
can
cute.
You're like,
identify it.
same. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I liked it. I thought the cans were cool up until they got rusty, and they didn't want to buy new ones, and I was like, ooh, I'm just gonna cover this.
That's funny.
There's like a little water in the bottom of the
yeah.
can and
They're
shit.
like, yummy.
Yeah, because that's one thing that culinary school doesn't prepare you for is like compromising your values and stuff like that.
Literally.
It's like, oh, I don't really think this is cool, but I guess it's what we're doing.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
yeah.
They definitely don't teach you that, and they definitely don't teach you like, I would say, the speed of a restaurant of that caliber. That I definitely had to learn. Like, there would be one point, like, let's say, for example, it's a lunch shift, and I have 6 Milanese, 8 crab cakes, and like 5 salads. Well, not all of those Milanese and crab cakes are gonna look great, but I got it done.
They gotta
in a
get out
fast kind of way.
I mean, I feel like we've talked about that countless times before about like the culinary school people are people that are like very well trained and know their shit. But when you throw them in this shit, a lot of times it's like that's the make or break moment where it's just like, and like so many of them are like, this is not what I thought it was going to be like.
Well, I think it's very much like you're going from. I can't imagine like being a kid in college, being super smart, knowing everything about sourdough or meat and fermentation or whatever. But
Or having knife skills where like you can chop those onions, mince them so fine that they're like a puree of onion.
Well,
And it's like, yeah, but I needed that 10 minutes ago.
Literally.
but also I think it has to do with the whole like dealing with people thing too,
Yeah.
where it's like, all right, now you have to like talk to this person that speaks Spanish and doesn't understand you, and you guys have to
Yep.
collaborate to figure out this new dish or whatever the fuck the task is in the kitchen
Yeah.
that you have to do. It's like working with people at any rate, not just in a kitchen, can be not easy. People fucking suck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. And honestly, that cat like collaborating, especially with people that don't speak English, I'll tell you what, kitchen Spanish is real.
I fucking
Yeah.
love it.
Kitchen Spanish is so real. Like I'm Puerto Rican Dominican, but I call myself like the gentrified version.
Nice.
But you know, my grandfather came from Puerto Rico, so like a lot of things I do, like I show him, he's very proud. But he always gets on my case. He's like, Tashyna, why don't you speak Spanish? And I'm like, whose fault is that, abuelo?
Yeah.
That's not my fault.
It's like, who was supposed to teach me Spanish in this situation?
Exactly. So like me learning a lot of basic English just came from working with like Jose on salads. And I'm like, can I get the cebollas, please?
There you go.
Thank you. Gracias.
Well, it's funny. Like I find where I currently work right now, there's a lot of Portuguese speaking people and Spanish speaking people. And sometimes when I'm working and I'm in a state of like stress and I just need to communicate fast and it's with whoever that I know will understand me speaking Spanish faster than she will English. It's like, you know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk English to this person. I need to communicate now. Like, you know what I mean?
And so, do you speak your Spanish well, sir?
I mean, I think I'm decent. I'm definitely not fluent. I get by, no doubt. I can
And
do.
you're using a polite tone of voice. You're not yelling at them too much.
No, I'm like cebollas.
Oh, come on.
Ahora.
Gracias.
Be polite.
No, I think I'm equally as polite Spanish as I am English. So
That's not very polite, sir. Come on.
maybe according to you,
better.
but I disagree. I think I'm pretty polite.
You know what? You're working on it.
Oh
We
yeah,
love
there
that.
we go.
As long as they're not mad at you by the end of the day, it'll be fine. It'll
Yeah.
be fine. As long as she says good morning to you in the morning and she gives you a little cafecito, you'll be fine.
Oh please, it's the white people that don't like me.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, yeah.
So,
Accurate.
how long were you in New York for?
I was in the city for about 2-ish years. In that time, I did maybe 4 different like restaurants, and I think 1 catering company. And then I hopped off there and went over to the Hamptons for a summer.
Oh, wow. What'd you do out there?
I worked for
Rich people.
Yes. It was this billionaire beach resort. It was the first of the company. It's the guy who co-owns Casamigos at the time with George Clooney, but I think George Clooney got bought out. But yeah, so I worked there for a summer. I lived in the Hamptons for that summer.
Nice.
And it was just wild at that point, and seeing people of that
Income bracket.
yes, exactly. I'm just like, wow, this is really dumb. You
Y'all
really
don't
pay
pay
for
taxes
this?
at all. You don't pay taxes at all.
Yes. Like that moment that was like that aha moment for me was the owner
Their
of the
noses are like
company.
this?
Yeah.
I'm such a dick.
He was throwing a party for his 2-year-old son.
Mm-hmm.
And he had people wearing like Optimus Prime and like Transformer costumes on the beach.
They can
in,
like actually fly and shit too.
in 90-degree weather. And I was like, and there was like taco stations and like sushi stations and a bar. And I was like, this isn't for the 2-year-old.
This is for yourself.
Yes, this is for
This is an
yourself.
excuse for you to throw a party.
Yes, you just tortured somebody.
God, I can't wait to do that.
Yeah, wearing this Optimus Prime suit in the sand.
I cannot wait to make all my kids things about me. I'm relishing that.
So, tell me about this room. I was just saying how much I really enjoyed the chaos of it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Who knows how much
It's
longer
like-
it
yeah.
will last, knock on wood. But
It's like the Teletubbies had a ketamine party in here or something.
I like
Yeah.
that. I've been told that it's like how on Nickelodeon all the kids would like get their own room, like in Drake and Josh they have the sickest room ever because they just do whatever they want with the room.
Oh, yeah, where they're like, here's the Rebel Kids room, and there's like graffiti on the wall.
That's kind of, I mean, I just wanted to make a studio that like one for the podcast, but 2 that I could just like have for artistic
Create.
endeavors.
All right.
You
all right,
know,
all right.
so I'd be making beats in here. My boy Joe, shout out Joe Lennon, made this graffiti mural behind.
Love it.
And our good friend, friend of the pod as well, Samantha Jones. It's Samantha Jones. She did.
Crinkle, crinkle, crinkle.
Yeah, it's mad loud. It's mad loud. It's all good. It's all good. It's like, why am I still going with the story? Why not just be like, Spencer?
We've
It's
reached our first edit point.
No, I don't even keep that in. That's funny. So Sammy used to be a painter. She was like, I'll paint your fucking room. I don't want to get too far into it, but she did most of this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
And she'll be back for another episode sooner than we think. She's outrageous. Episode 79.
Ooh.
My phone's on violent.
Yeah. Sammy and G. That's one of our best
that's
episodes.
one of the OGs. One of my best friends, no doubt.
Love that.
So let's get back into it here. So you catered for rich people in the Hamptons.
Yep.
What were the other restaurants like that you worked in New York? Any of them notable?
Probably Janoon. Janoon is an Indian Michelin star restaurant. Shout out to Akshay. I worked there for a very short period. I realized that restaurant really just wasn't vibing with me at that point in time in my life. But I did learn a lot. I learned a lot about my palate. I learned a lot about making things that are traditionally like very sloppy dishes look really refined. Because who would have thought that curry could look that pretty? But
there's lots of stewed meats and stuff
exactly.
like that.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
Same.
Stewed meat is
Same.
one of my favorites.
To this day, that restaurant and my aunt's husband, that when I was in New York, they let me live with them for free. Thanks, Auntie.
There you go.
That was huge. She just had him cooking. Like, he just loved to cook. And then working at Janoon, like, that's where I fell in love with Indian food. And to this day, I will make a curry from scratch, and people are like, what? Did you make that? I'm like, yeah, bitch.
Hell yeah.
But, yeah, so that one. And then I worked at a catering company that I don't know her affiliation, but it's Mary Giuliani.
Wait, Mary or Mayor?
Mary. I don't know her affiliation.
Mary Giuliani, no relation.
I was gonna say, what's that big L lyric about wanting Giuliani hung?
Yeah, I was like, once the Trump presidency came around, I was like, ooh, I wonder if they're related. But at that time in 2016, 2017, it really didn't matter. But I met.
Did you do any Giuliani parties? Did you meet the Long Island serial killer?
I did not. But I did cook for Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh, another fucking creep.
Yeah. I went to his house in the Hamptons, and he has a baseball field in his front yard.
Wow.
And I was like, that's some rich people shit.
Strictly Little League.
Yo, that's
going.
like, I mean, Jerry Seinfeld, not far off from P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry Seinfeld's more of like a Karl Malone type or like a Woody Allen. But
What, in that he's not canceled?
No, in that he's attracted to children and likes to date children.
Also was an absolute passenger on his own show.
Yeah.
Wow.
He is the least funny character on Seinfeld.
You're right. The show should be called the George Costanza
No,
Show.
that's not true, but like it's
No, it should.
facts.
It should be called Costanza.
I mean, I guess.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly. Agreed. But yeah, so those were probably like my bigger out there restaurants in the city for sure.
So
Were they all like in Manhattan, like around Midtown, or were they in other places?
They were all around Midtown. Janoon, I think, is in Chelsea,
Okay,
which is like
nice.
23rd, which isn't, too far from
Yeah.
Midtown.
like in
so.
the heart, like you were like in the middle of the
Yeah,
city.
yeah. Like, being from a small town girl.
Going from that to Midtown is a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. So I definitely will sheepishly say that I did go to Times Square like almost every day and just be like, wow, look at all the
Did
buildings.
you see the Naked Cowboy?
No, but I did see some naked women. They had
that's even more fun.
Yeah, it was like these two girls and they had like G-strings on in the freezing cold, but like they had their tits painted with like the American flag always. And I was like,
nice.
Good for you.
Was it like
Merca.
each tit was a different American flag, or was it an American flag across the chest?
I think it was an American flag across the chest.
Okay, because
These
it
are
matters.
really important details
Yeah,
that we need to
sorry. I needed
No.
Where did the star lay?
No, yeah, true.
Yeah.
One was stars, one was stripes. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So that was pretty crazy for me. I definitely miss it, but with prices rising and continuing to rise, I probably won't go back.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
So when did you come back around this way?
Probably around 2018.
And was it to Rhode Island that you went from New York, or was there another stop in between?
I stopped at home. I was with my mom for a little bit. She's a huge support system for me. She knows how hard and how much I work. So she was very supportive. So I was at South Dartmouth for a little bit in Little Moss. They're still there. Love them. Shout out to Lisa.
Shout out.
That's
Yeah.
kind of like a big name around here too, I would say.
Little Moss?
Yeah, as far as like New England restaurants.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that got some like,
Clout.
yeah, I guess
Yeah.
clout. Is,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I love them. They are very sweet, very kind, and I learned
So that doesn't sound very New York. Was it a big like change in pace?
it is
People
because
being sweet and kind.
yeah yeah.
It's not really a Boston thing either, but it sounds where
Yeah.
like little. I mean, the name Little Moss. You would hope it's not like
Ironically, it did give me anxiety. Like like when you're
I mean,
starting
that's
a new-
gonna happen, no
Yeah.
doubt. But
But like she's such a perfectionist when it comes to certain things that it actually helped me be a perfectionist in certain ways. Like I learned how to correctly shuck an oyster there.
Nice.
To the point where, we did buck a shuck, and if I popped a belly, she was like, throw it away. And me, I'm like, oh, no. So
Yeah.
I was shooting them back. I'm like, oh, whoops, I popped one.
Oops.
Nice.
And then there was just this thing there for, kitchen culture that everyone makes themselves a shucker name. So Lisa, who is this very like soft-spoken older white woman, her name was Shakira.
Wow.
that's fire.
Yeah.
I already know Max's.
What is it?
Yeah,
Shuck Knobloch.
Oh, I love
That's a good one.
that.
That's a good one.
Should be my rap name.
And then I had this one coworker.
Shakira. I feel like we didn't set aside enough space for that. Shakira is really good.
Isn't
That's
it?
really good.
Shakir is amazing.
Yes. And she also had Shaka Khan, and I was
Okay,
so
Shaka Khan
mad.
is
That's
very
also
good as well.
I was like,
good.
that's so good.
Wait, what was yours?
So mine was Shuck Master Flex.
Okay,
that
we
works
love
too.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It worked,
That's
but like
it.
it kind of didn't. And I was like, oh, I feel kind of out, but it worked anyway.
No, it's great.
I had this one coworker, and his was Shuckles the Clown.
Nice.
So
That's a little
Nice,
creepy,
that's great.
but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He's I love him. His name's Carson. Shout out to Carson. He is just like this little weird brother that you've always wanted, and he was just one of those kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shuckles.
yeah, my man Shuckles.
Shouts out to Shuckles.
Yeah. So from there, I then had the opportunity to land my first executive chef job.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, oh, executive chef at 26. Yes, girl.
First of all, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so I landed that job, and it was for Dough Company. And the owner is the nephew of Emeril Lagasse.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Emeril Lagasse
You don't know
is?
Bam, bro? Like Bam.
Emeril Lagasse was like the celebrity chef in like the late 90s, early 2000s. And he became popular because he had a live studio show.
I look
cooking
so
show,
uncultured right
and
now.
he would say, this is very embarrassing for you. This is the biggest L you've taken on the pod. And he's like, he became very famous because he was very eccentric. And he would say, his catchphrases are, we're going to kick things up a notch. He would say, we're going to kick things up a notch. And then when he would throw spices into it, he's like, we're going to add a little paprika. Bam. And so he would say,
I know this person.
And,
I just didn't know by name.
He had a tomato sauce brand. He had like, his
Should we have him as a soundbite?
100%. We've been sleeping on
so.
Emeril Lagasse soundbites. I mean, this is an incredible bag fumbling that we have in our hands.
Well, listen,
ladies and
it's
gentlemen,
about
he don't know Emeril. He don't know Emeril.
It's about learning from our mistakes, okay? And moving forward after this episode, we will get some sound bites of his.
He was asleep, y'all. He wasn't awake. He didn't know.
Nope. And he actually from the Fall River area. Apparently.
Shout out the Riv.
Yeah,
shouts out the Riv.
Did you know that?
He is Fall River legend. Yes,
Yeah,
I forgot it,
yeah.
but somebody did mention it to me back when I was living in the Riv.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, he's actually so I would say appreciated in the Johnson & Wales community that he donated several $1 million on their bougie like lab building where all the cooking labs are. But ironically, he got kicked out when he went to Johnson & Wales, so it's kind of funny.
I feel like a lot of people do.
Yeah. So I was like, shout out to him for being accepted again now that he's rich and famous.
He kind of created the whole celebrity chef culture. Like in the late 90s when Food Network blew up, he was like the first Food Network celebrity that I remember. Like, big time Food Network guy.
Yeah. Like, and him being him, there was one day where, and I can remember it was like it was yesterday. I'm in the kitchen. I'm on hour God knows what of the week, maybe like 70. And I'm like arms deep in some Japanese milkloaf. And I look up and...
That's actually a good title for my memoir, Arms Deep in some Japanese milkloaf. But anyway, continue.
And I look up and the light is shining perfectly on these big window doors. And this small stature man is walking in with a long black trench coat with two slender men on the side of him. And like the light is shining on him and the wind hits his jacket perfectly where it like floats behind him, and it looked like I'm looking at like a mob boss scene.
Yeah.
I was like, who the fuck
it's like
is
a character
Yes.
introduction.
It's like you don't know who it is, but you're like, it's someone.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, who the fuck
this
is
is
this?
statement entrance.
Now, mind you, like what he
The
can
wind's
look at.
blowing and
Yes.
shit.
Now what he's looking at is an open window. I'm covered in flour, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And it was Emeril and his son and his son's friend.
Damn.
And, yeah.
And what? I'm sorry. What was this called? Dough.
Dough Company.
Dough Company.
Yeah. So that it was big for me. It was, like I said, my first executive chef job.
I mean, I'm guessing the Skrilla was decent too.
I mean,
in comparison.
and for me, it was just the fact that I wanted to learn so much, and I wanted to, finally get that title underneath my belt. Like, because at that point, for me, I'm technically a chef.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, I'm here.
Exactly. Like, I don't claim to be a chef until a chef calls me a chef.
Yeah.
So like when people are like, chefing it up, oh my God, look at me, and I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
right?
like,
You weren't in the trenches. Okay.
You've never heard yes chef, no chef.
Exactly.
And earned that shit.
Exactly. So he ate my food. He said it was great. I think he had like,
How'd that feel?
it was good. It was good.
Were you nervous?
Were you like, ooh?
Were you like,
I think because I was on like 5 hours of sleep and was baking from like 3 o'clock in the morning, it didn't like register.
You were like, fucking right, it's good. Let's go. Moving on.
Yeah. That place I also learned, which I think is big for chefs nowadays.
Oh, geez.
Is big for chefs nowadays is knowing their limit and knowing when their body needs a break. I think that a lot of chefs, they just want to keep going and just because that's
push that limit.
Yeah,
That's what the cocaine is telling them to do.
Literally. And they're like, oh, well, I'm not a badass if I'm not doing 100 hours a week. And there I was doing 100 hours a week. And
That's
I was
that
like,
fucking toxic kitchen culture I was talking about.
I was like, no, like, hey, I need some help. And, unfortunately the owners were like, no. I was like, oh,
of course.
Great.
Well, I feel like when you're the one running the show too, because I've only really done it like once, it's like like there's not enough time. I need more time to get more things done.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So you're like,
Yeah.
I want to be there more than these 40 hours because I need, whatever.
Well, to a certain extent, that's what you need to be like if you're going to run a place, if you're going to own a place.
Big facts.
It's like, okay, I need to be putting everything I've got into it, and you wouldn't want to see less than that from somebody. But yeah, when it gets to the point of like, I'm a pussy unless I'm working more than X or Y, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like chill. It's just life. It's not that serious.
Yeah, it's not that serious.
Yeah, agreed. And it is what it is. We went our separate ways. But yeah, out of what I took from there, besides Emeril Lagasse telling me my sandwiches are poppin', is knowing when to say no because my body can't take it anymore.
Yes.
So that was really huge for me, honestly.
I mean, it's an important lesson.
Yeah, I agree. I hope, and for all line cooks, chefs everywhere, that they find that point in themselves that I hope they find it quicker instead of going through years of like busting their ass.
And also,
It's not enough.
it's never enough. And they should know that, it's not cool. Like, no one is thinking you're super cool for pushing yourself past that point.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Because all it's going to lead to is you having a mental breakdown in the kitchen in front of everybody and nobody's
Crashing
here for
out.
that.
Yep.
Nobody's here for that.
Yeah, and that burnout is ass.
Yeah.
It sucks.
So you also worked for a good friend of the pod,
Shouts out.
Mr. James Mark.
Yeah.
Not at North. You were at Big King?
It was a little bit of both. So at the time that I was hired, I was a floater, basically. So I filled in wherever they needed me. I started off at Big King, and then I went over to North on their final stretch.
Run.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what kind of positions were you doing when in your floating?
I was just a good old fashioned line cook, nothing crazy. I totally believe in just starting from the bottom, like, find out where I fit and call that a day. I don't have to sit around and swing my dick everywhere because that's completely unnecessary. But
Fuck off my expo chef now!
yeah, no, that was
That kind of
not me.
dick swinging?
Yeah. So I started off in Big King, just being a good old line cook and helping out Fry and like I don't know what station you would call it, but it's like everything that wasn't Fry and sushi.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was cool. And then I went over to North, and I really shined in garmager basically, and like plating. So that was really awesome to work with.
Well, I mean, like, I feel like I don't want to pump his tires too much, but like North's whole like hype in this city has been like, it's like unique plating, and I mean unique plates itself, but like I feel like a lot of, and I've spoken on this pod about it, a lot of the chefs that are like crushing it in Providence now have mostly either worked for James Mark or Ben Sukol and like have taken a lot of those like,
They're so North coded.
yeah, exactly. Well put, Dan.
All the chefs are so North coded.
Do you think you like hopped in there and like immediately learned and was like, I don't know, like what did you take away from James, I guess, that put you in a good position to do that?
I think honestly, like with James, I was just so happy to just like be there and be a sponge. Like I was just besides myself with like what he would come up with. I'm like, I would never even know how to even pull that out my ass.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
obviously, Japanese cooking isn't underneath like my belt. Like that's not in my repertoire, but I really enjoyed just seeing what he could come up with. Like when he had like this tempura corn, I was like, what? And like something so simple, but so executed so well. That was awesome.
Yeah, the way his brain works thinking of dishes and plates is
Yes.
really impressive.
Yes. And the one that I loved was when I was there, he had, I think it was the yakitori chicken, like the skewer, and he would serve them on half broken plates, but
Yeah, okay. I'm glad you just brought that up because I think I should have brought this up to him when he was on the pod. Maybe he'll come on again one day. I feel like he got a lot of hate for that when that happened, because like at least on the gram, all of his plates were always like the pictures he would take would just be like clearly just out back behind the building, like on the dirty ass ground, like and like I think the plate that it was a half plate. It got recognized somewhere, like the picture.
Yeah.
And like, like the only thing that went in my mind was like, did he just break a plate and was like, I'm not throwing this out? And then I was like, this actually looks sick. Like, what was the whole deal with the half plate thing?
I forgot the backstory, but it was along the lines of just that, like
this broke. I'm not throwing it out. It looks
broke,
cool,
but it looks great.
Yeah.
And so we're just gonna run with it. And I was like, all right, cool. This is awesome. It's great for my 4 fingers. I'm like, this is fantastic.
It's such a goofy fucking thing to do, but like also sick. You know?
I mean, that's how you go viral, bro. You know.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah.
You don't cut people's pizzas for them and then you give them scissors when they complain. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of thing you do to go viral around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really cool. I really enjoyed working for him. Definitely.
That's sick.
I mean, I think we should whip out the classic questions. You know?
Okay, yeah. So would you like to share with us any other unique stories of any shifts where you had any particular like heinous customers you had to deal with, or
heinous
or just heinous like human interactions in general?
Yeah.
Stuff that really like shocked you to your core. Being like, damn, people do this? People are like this?
I would have to say my current job. So I work for a catering company, Easy Entertaining.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Kate. Women own, women run. I thought that was amazing,
We stand.
especially for Providence. But there was just this one day that I was doing a simple delivery, food delivery. People order, like, let's say it's a buffet style. I go, I bring all the buffet equipment, I bring the hot food, I put it in wherever they want, make it hot for them, and I walk away. That's it. I come in the next day or whatever to pick up the equipment, call it a day. So this woman having a birthday party for, I think, her mother, who was like 60, and we gave her her potatoes, part of the order, and it was by volume. I mean by weight, not by volume. And she looked at it and she was like, will that be enough? And I was like, looking at the room, I was like, yeah, totally, perfectly fine. Like, don't worry about it. Do you want me to see if I can do anything else for you? No. She gives me a fat tip. I'm like, great, this is great. I'm leaving Newport. I'm feeling real cheerful. Then I get to the car and she comes running to the car and is like screaming at me over fucking potatoes. And I'm like, ma'am, our home base is in Providence. We're in Newport. I can't magically make fucking potatoes for you. So I'm like, trying to troubleshoot.
She was freaking out like, we don't have enough potatoes?
Yes, freaking out.
After she had just been like, okay, a minute ago?
Yes, and then she looks at a fake invoice from God knows where or an email, and she's talking about how she ordered X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. And this isn't my first time. Like, someone screaming at me in my face. Like, this woman was like where this camera was, and I'm in my car, and I'm like, okay. So I'm trying to console her, and I'm like, okay, I can go get a salad for you. I'm like, I can haul ass to Whole Foods, make you a salad.
Oh my God.
Put it in a box, and ta-da! Like that's
You
the
just
best
go to
I
Whole
got.
Foods.
I'm going to prepared foods right now.
Yeah, you just go take one of the hotel pans out of the hot food section and run out with it.
Yeah,
all of this, please.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm freaking out, and she's screaming at me, and I'm like, okay.
It's like, please calm down.
Yes, please, ma'am. I will go fix this. I go to the store. My boss says, you know what? That's what they ordered. We can't do anything about it. I'm like, all right. I go back to her to break the news. But while that 5 to 10 minute window where I was at the store in her house, which is only 5 minutes away from the fucking store, she calls and leaves a nasty Karen-esque voicemail about how I ran off and I didn't solve her problem, especially after her and her husband tipped me. And I was like, this is nuts.
Wow.
I was like, you're crazy. Goodbye.
And you went back? Like you had to go back?
Well, I didn't know about this message until later on in my shift when I was almost done.
So did you show up with stuff that you had grabbed for salad?
Well, no, because my boss was like,
They were like, "No, you can't."
Yeah, don't do it. So I was like,
Damn.
sorry. But
Well, they didn't deserve the salad anyway.
yeah, this bitch and her 6-year-old mother.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like, you
fucked.
deserve shit. But yeah.
Thanks for the tip.
Yeah, thanks.
So what about any like egregious kitchen injuries? You see any like nasty injuries, or have you had any yourself?
You know, I would have to think it's my first one where I actually lost like a piece of my finger.
Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah, so this was in college, and I'm working at like a local like dive bar, and I'm just simply slicing some romaine, something so fucking simple, and the knives just came in perfectly sharpened, and guess who?
I just tweaked without
Yeah.
anything even happening.
I sliced off the tip of my middle finger, and it was spewing everywhere.
Ooh.
I mean, like gore movie spewing.
Like, did you have to like throw away mad food in the station and stuff?
Yeah, well, I had to throw away everything that was on my cutting board.
Okay. Yeah.
So, like, what was that? Maybe half a case of romaine. So I was like, fuck. So then I go into the
Blood on the leaves.
yeah.
There's blood on leaves.
So then I go into the dining room, and there's only 2 fucking people in there and the bartender. And thank God one of those 2 people was a nurse. I was
Nice.
like, oh, thank God. So she goes and she wraps me up, and she's like, all right, time for you to go to urgent care. And I'm sitting there in urgent care in an open bed with the wound like this.
Nice.
And I'm just like, hey,
To the
me
haters.
and my just me with my finger. And
Yeah.
the doctors
Yeah.
thought they were funny, and they were like, but we're trying to help you.
Oh yeah, of course
I'm like,
they
ha
love
ha
that.
ha, thank you, but I'm in pain.
Yes, I'm bleeding here.
Yeah, thank y'all. But yeah, that was a doozy. And then slicing that $80 steak in New York.
Oh yeah.
I stabbed the tip of the knife went into my pinky. And you know, like when you see the chunky meat of your finger?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like
I
the muscle
opened it up
tissue.
and I was like, oh, I can
You're
see
like,
the
I
chunky.
I shouldn't be able
that's
to
gross.
see that. No.
yeah.
No,
Yeah, that was a doozy.
that's not for my eyes to see.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, and my last one. Oh man, I still look on this to this day, and I'm like, how stupid are you? So I was making.
You can forgive yourself.
Yeah. That took a while to forgive myself for that. But it was a brunch shift on the Lower East Side for this restaurant I was working at, and part of the prep was making the cornmeal pancakes, the ones that I love so much.
Oh shit, butter rings.
Yeah. So I had to melt the butter. Tashyna forgot the butter, and the butter
Okay.
turned black.
Oh yes.
And my instant thought was, okay, get it out of the pan, put it into a container, start over again. Why did I grab the nearest container? What was that? It was
Plastic.
a quart container.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, I see the bottom of the quart container start to like crinkle. And
Yeah,
I
it
said,
becomes some like Cronenbergian
Yeah.
nightmare where it's all folded up. and
exactly. And
nasty.
I said, oh shit. I was like, I have to get that to the trash. I have to get that somewhere other than right here where all the food is.
Now, was it a mid quart container? Because I feel like the good ones, like you can kind of handle.
Yeah,
some
those
shit.
the
No,
know
yeah,
there's
I know
like
what
the
you're
two
talking
kinds of
about.
Like
there's
this
the
one
thin-
right here
Yes.
that's filled with water. This I
Yes.
feel like could
Yeah.
handle it.
This is the gas right here.
Yeah.
This is would you see that?
If you're
That's the
buying
gas.
any other quart container, it's fucking
Yeah,
trash.
like those flimsy, like very like one ply plastic.
Yeah,
no.
the one ply. That's
Yeah,
a good.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
a good description
Fuck
for it.
those
Those
quarts.
one ply
No,
quarts.
it was the good quart, but
Okay.
that's how hot the butter
Damn.
was.
Yeah.
So
Damn.
I went and I picked it up
Oh,
from the
okay.
top, and the bottom gave
I
out.
just went.
In it. Damn.
Yes, and all that butter went all over my arm.
Ow.
I
Nasty.
probably had second-degree burn, but I still worked the 6-hour brunch shift with that second-degree
Because
burn.
of fucking Bourdain, dude. It's because of fucking Bourdain.
And fucking brunch.
We're Dane alone, man. Yeah, he had a rough end.
So, what have you been listening to in the kitchen recently?
Recently I've been listening to a lot of throwback emo hits.
Okay.
Because early 2000s emo punk came back, and I'm here for it. So I'm reliving my childhood. And as of late, it's been a lot of like Paramore and like My Chemical Romance.
Can we talk
Yeah.
about the guy from My Chemical Romance dying for a second?
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
The drummer died,
Oh yeah, I did.
Oh,
hear-
yeah.
I think I did hear about that.
but he was like a huge bigot piece of shit.
Well,
Really?
Everyone hated him. And his last tweet before he died was like, I'm so glad we can say tranny again. talking about
my
Trump winning the
God.
presidency.
Oh my god.
And then,
Fuck
so
off.
mad people have been posting his last tweet being like, imagine this being your last tweet before you die. Like, yo, be careful what you tweet because your last tweet might be
It's a wild
not
one.
great.
It's
You
a
never
wild
know
one.
which tweet could be your last.
Yeah.
Do we have any more questions? That's it. right?
Yeah. Well, where do you like to go eat around the
Yeah,
city?
there
here
we
in
go. That's
Providence?
another one.
Um,
Or
Any
around,
rest-
I don't, we didn't even
Around anywhere.
clarify that you lived in Providence. Do you live in Providence?
I live in East Providence.
Okay. So close. Yeah.
Rest in peace,
You're here.
because the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a nightmare and the bane of my existence. What do I like to eat? I actually been really enjoying like little hole in the walls that
Mhm.
not a lot of people know about.
You trying to like name drop? You trying to keep those secrets?
Yeah.
You
You
can,
gatekeeping?
yeah, you can gatekeep.
Well, no, here's the thing. It may not be a hole in the wall, but I just tried it for the first time maybe like 2 months ago. Jeff's Pizza. I will tell you,
Oh, I haven't had Jeff's yet.
Jeff's Pizza is a goodie. Not
Where's
as
that
good
at?
as Pizza
I
Marvin.
haven't had it since they changed their oven.
Oh.
It used to be Jeff's Wood Fire.
Oh no, I think it's like the double decker.
No, yeah,
one.
now they're gas, but I haven't had it since it changed.
Yeah, it's in East Providence, right over the bridge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's across the street from Myrtle Bar, a newer bar, but they're like funky.
Yeah, it's like a venue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind
I
of
actually
aesthetic.
really want to go there. It looks cool.
Yeah, they have the bands that they play there are very like funky, indie, bohemian. I don't know. Not
Okay,
really
we
my
love that.
thing.
It's big
but
Providence.
It's,
It's
cute.
big Providence energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. Where else did we go recently?
You fuck with Pete's Marvin too?
Oh, the pinball. I love Pizza Marvin.
I
100%.
worked there for 6 weeks. Yo, shout out.
I love that place. Like their slice with the pepperoni, and I put hot honey on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fucking good.
They low key. I mean, I'm gonna give a shout out to Pizza Marvin right here. I was thinking about this because I was talking to maybe my mom or something about pizza, and Pizza Marvin. I'm no longer gatekeeping. Has one of the best salads in Providence.
Salad.
All of their salad. I think they only have like 2 or 3 on the menu, but they all slap.
Really?
Slap.
I love that. I'm gonna have to
Their
not get a
their
pizza next time I
Caesar
go.
smoked bluefish Caesar salad slaps.
We gotta get
I
Caesar snapped
fucking
on.
love
Yeah, their shit
Bluefish.
goes hard.
Oh, bluefish is a good one.
Yeah, shout out Hannah too. I love Caesar salad. Anyway, do you want to like plug anything before you go? Do you want to leave the listeners with advice? Anything you want to share with the world? This is your chance.
This is my terms. Say it again.
Q, lose yourself by Eminem.
You don't have to plug anything either. I'm just, we want to give our people a platform.
I don't really have anything to plug. If anything, I plugged all the people that, I said. But one thing that like I'm learning, especially as a woman who's also a minority, like you can be a hard ass and you can push yourself, but also, like I said before, know your limit for yourself, because that burnout is crazy, and you need to care about yourself enough that you can work another day.
It's not enough.
For sure.
Yeah.
No,
'cause,
yeah,
like,
it's, you said earlier, like the taking the breaks thing, like even if it's 5 minutes during your shift to go fucking just get air outside,
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't smoke cigarettes anymore, but it used to be the cigarette break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is big. Like burnout is crazy.
Yeah.
In any industry, but especially this one.
Yeah.
And it's not cool to push yourself too far. Okay. No
Yeah.
one's gonna think you're cool because you lost it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
listen, like going 110% fire, but like going 210%, you're
Too
kind of going to
much.
look like a dick, man.
Yeah, like especially like 6 days a week, 7 days a week, like it's not cool.
Yeah.
I would definitely say, ooh, you know what's a good plug?
Yeah.
So part of my kind of break for myself yearly, I go to a different country every year post COVID. I was like, you know what, fuck it, life's too short. So I just went to Oaxaca, Mexico,
Nice.
and I found the most cutest, littlest, hole in the wall fucking bakery, and it was a literal like depiction of like what I would want to open up. And I never want to open up a fucking restaurant because they're horrible. But it's called Helena Pandaria, and nicest fucking people, and the best food I've had probably in the last like 5 years.
Damn, that's a plug.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I love that.
Shout out to them.
Yeah.
Love them. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
That's it. For real.
Well, what were you gonna say?
I lied one more plug.
Yeah, do it.
My best friend Anna from Red Door. She's amazing.
The Red Door.
Shouts out. We like the
Yeah,
Red Door.
shout the Red Door.
Yeah, love Anna, my best friend.
Awesome. Well, Tashyna, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks.
You
a
have
lot.
You're
been an
welcome.
awesome guest.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks to Spencer for filming
Yeah,
this.
thank you, Spence.
Thanks.
This is awesome.
It's pretty tight.
I'm
dude.
fucking hyped.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it.
Anyway, I'm Max Messier Richter,
I'm Dan Cotter.
I'm Tashyna.
and this is the Rags to Dishes podcast.
It's like the same with you,
but better.
Like, yo, mixtape Wayne is like top 5 rappers all time.
Let's go.